Hello, my name is Jon Williams. I'm a leadership coach and I began volunteering with Sported in 2013, since when I've been supporting member groups to develop their leadership skills. Recently we consulted with groups to find out what sorts of situations leaders can face which keep them awake at night, and in response we produced a series of bite-sized learning guides to help. This guide looks at how leaders can keep volunteers motivated. I hope you find it useful. Whether paid or not, people usually start out in any role with a high level of motivation. A leader's challenge is finding ways to keep this motivation high, as without regular attention, motivation levels will fall, and if there's no pay to keep them in their role, it's an easier decision for volunteers to leave. The volunteering relationship always needs to feel like it's a balance, a win-win for both you and them. With a little investment of time and energy, there are a number of things you as a leader can do to sustain the motivation of your volunteers. Let's look at the SMILE model as a way of exploring different approaches to building an even more motivated team of volunteers. Taking pay out of the equation, when people are asked what would make a more positive difference to their work, 5 areas come up time and time again. What success are they having? Is there a sense that what they're doing is making a difference and is appreciated? Does their work have meaning to them? Is it meeting the expectations they had when they joined? Are they able to implement some of their own ideas and work independently in some aspects of what they do? What are they learning? When people get a feeling that they're learning new skills, it keeps them engaged. And finally, is there something enjoyable for them in the activities that they're involved in? A leader's aim is to keep these 5 areas in balance. They don't all need to be high at all times or at the same level, but making sure there is enough in each area is important. For example, some volunteers may not be looking for a high level of independence, preferring to take a supporting role, but they may need regular feedback about the impact they are having. Everyone is different and circumstances change, so regular check-ins will help to keep things in balance. Let's consider each of the 5 areas in more detail. We all like to know that what we do for others is appreciated and valued. It makes us feel good to see the difference we make. So giving regular feedback makes a big difference to motivation levels, and it's even more powerful when you share the impact or difference a volunteer's work is making. Even a simple thank you goes a long way to letting people know that their efforts are valued. As well as saying thank you regularly, occasionally sending a handwritten thank you card through the post can make a big impression. Finding meaning or purpose in what we do is essential in keeping us engaged. Find out why your volunteer has chosen to give up their time to your particular organisation. Whatever the reason, check in with them regularly to find out whether things are still meeting their expectations. Then, where possible, get volunteers involved in activities which connect with their reason for joining your organisation. For example, if they're looking to develop a new skill, can you link their volunteering to chances to practice this skill? Using our initiative and thinking for ourselves is empowering, and with every pair of volunteers' hands, you get their brain thrown in for free. It's surprising how much volunteers notice about the way things are done, but may not speak up because they don't feel it's their place to suggest changes. Regularly ask for their ideas about what could be improved and ways their ideas could be implemented. Where possible, allow volunteers to take a lead in the activities they're involved with. To minimise uncertainty, which can stop people using their initiative, always make sure you're clear in your expectations and their responsibilities when handing out any tasks or duties. When you're allowing people to take the lead and do some things their way, you need to step back a little and accept that occasionally things won't go to plan. Consider the potential risks of mistakes happening before you delegate tasks, and use any mistakes as opportunities to learn and improve. We know that learning and then applying new skills is a great source of motivation. As well as providing the essential training volunteers need to perform their role effectively, consider what additional development might be available for them. Agree learning goals together to create a learning plan and be prepared to work at their pace. Whenever we're applying a new learning, getting regular feedback is especially important, so get into a habit of holding regular feedback conversations to keep their learning alive. Keeping the experience enjoyable is vital to keep people engaged as well. Find out what your volunteers are enjoying most, then get them doing this as much as possible. When we love what we do, it rarely feels like work. One of the biggest causes of disillusionment amongst volunteers is feeling like they don't belong. This includes not being clear about their role and responsibility, or who to go to with questions and ideas. Much of this can be addressed at the very start by doing a proper induction, so have a plan to bring people in. Importantly, make sure they're expected on day one, someone is there to meet them and is available for support and questions when needed. And always involve your volunteers in social activities to make it clear they are valued members of your team. I mentioned earlier how important it is to check in regularly and frequently with your volunteers. One way to do this is to find out what their own balance actually looks and feels like. Using the SMILE model, you could ask them to rate each area out of 10 and then plot their scores on the model to see what shape their smile looks like. You might need to explain a little more about what each heading relates to first, just to help them with the scoring. Then have a conversation to find out more about their scores. You could ask them what you're already doing well, which areas they'd like to improve, and what else could be done to improve the score. Use this to create a plan together to improve the most important areas for them, and remember to review it regularly with them. Remember, the aim is not necessarily to get all the scores to the same level or even to 10. It's more important to find out how much is enough for each volunteer, bearing in mind that it will be different for everybody. I hope you found this short guide to keeping your volunteers motivated helpful. There are some similar bite-sized videos in this leadership series which you might want to look out for on the supported website. If you'd like to discuss any other follow-up support as a result of this video, or just in general to support your organisation, then please contact your regional or national manager or supported member services using the numbers provided.